A Gynecologist's Guide to Intimacy After 60. 5 Truths Most Women Have Never Been Told. What if a deeply private practice you have engaged in for years, an activity you have always considered entirely benign, could be silently creating an obstacle to your well-being after the age of 60? I will forever recall a woman whom I shall refer to as Margaret, 74 years of age, sitting in my examination room with her hands folded with deliberate care in her lap, not due to any diagnosed disease, but because of a personal habit she had long assumed was safe. She met my gaze with a combination of astonishment and sorrow, whispering, "I never comprehended that I was inadvertently hurting myself." Her experience, I can assure you, is not an isolated one. Millions of women over the age of 60 persist with the same intimate routines they have practiced for decades, entirely unaware that their bodies have undergone a profound transformation and that what once functioned smoothly may now be quietly eroding their vitality, their capacity for intimacy, and even their fundamental pelvic health. I am Dr. Lily Stones, a gynecologist who has dedicated more than 30 years of my professional life to caring for women through every chapter of their existence. Over these many years, I have assisted countless women in navigating the complex changes in intimacy, self-confidence, and physical health that follow menopause. And permit me to share something with you that many medical professionals never articulate aloud. After 60, the manner in which you touch yourself is of paramount importance. Yes, masturbation is an entirely natural human expression, and yes, it can be a component of a healthy lifestyle. However, in the postmenopausal phase, your body operates differently. The flow of blood to the pelvic region slows, your hormonal landscape shifts dramatically, and your nerves respond with less immediacy. If you fail to adapt your personal approach to these new realities, this private act can quietly and negatively impact your body, your emotional state, and even your intrinsic sense of womanhood. That is precisely why, in this discussion, I am going to share 5 potent truths regarding self-pleasure after the age of 60, truths that possess the power to preserve your sensitivity, protect your pelvic health, and reignite your self-confidence in ways you may have never imagined were possible. Please stay with me because the final truth we explore has the potential to completely reshape how you think about aging, human connection, and your own remarkable body. But first, allow me to share another story. One of my patients, Elena, aged 72, looked at me one day with tears glistening in her eyes. "Doctor," she said, her voice trembling, "I can no longer do what I used to be able to do. Does that signify that I am no longer truly a woman?" That question broke my heart, for it perfectly encapsulates a silent apprehension that so many women carry within them but seldom give voice to. But here is the profound truth: your sexuality has not broken. It is in fact evolving. If you have ever wondered why things do not feel the same, or have questioned whether intimacy still holds a place in your life, you are in precisely the right place. Before we delve into the first truth, please do me a quick favor. If you believe that women over 60 are deserving of honest, respectful, and candid conversations about their health, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click the notification bell. In doing so, you will not miss any future videos where we continue to break the silence on subjects that most women your age were never told the truth about. Alright, let's begin. The first significant misstep many women make is clinging to the belief that arousal should manifest in the exact same way it did when they were 25. So many of my patients confide in me, "Dr. Stones, I don't become lubricated as quickly as I once did. I suppose my body is broken." Here is the reality. After menopause, the alterations in your estrogen levels mean that your tissues respond in a new manner. Blood flow is more gradual, natural lubrication takes a longer time to appear, and physical sensations may feel more muted or subtle. However, this does not signify that your sexuality has come to an end. Consider it in terms of a flower. In the vibrant season of spring, it blossoms rapidly with very little effort. But in the reflective season of autumn, that same flower requires a bit more sunshine and water before it unfurls its petals. It still blooms, just in a different, more deliberate way. Another common mistake I frequently observe is the practice of using intimacy solely as a physical release while completely ignoring its emotional dimension. I once sat with Brenda, a retired school teacher in her late 70s. She shared with me, "I touch myself almost every night, not because I truly desire it, but because it's the only way I can fall asleep. She had inadvertently transformed a potentially rich, intimate act into a coping mechanism for her feelings of loneliness and anxiety. And while it is true that self-pleasure releases calming neurochemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, which can help reduce stress and improve sleep, when it is performed without mindfulness and presence, it can become an empty ritual. Imagine turning to a piece of chocolate whenever you feel sad. Initially, it provides a sense of comfort, but if you do it every night without ever truly savoring the taste, eventually the sweetness loses its impact, and you are left feeling unfulfilled. For Brenda, the routine was present, but the meaning had vanished. The third misunderstanding is the thought, if I'm not using it, it doesn't matter. A great number of women believe that if they do not currently have a partner, their sexual health no longer requires any attention. But your body does not subscribe to this view. Without regular stimulation, the vaginal tissues can begin to thin, the flow of blood to the area decreases, and nerve endings can grow less sensitive, a medical condition known as vaginal atrophy. The process is remarkably similar to how muscles weaken when you cease to exercise them. Frances, a 74-year-old widow, came to see me in tears. "I have finally met someone new," she explained, "but my body just doesn't work anymore." Her body was not broken, it was simply out of practice. With gentle, consistent, and mindful attention, she was slowly able to regain sensation and responsiveness. And here is where the subject becomes particularly nuanced. If neglect can quietly cause harm to your body, what about the opposite extreme? What if the very tool that many women secretly rely upon, the vibrator, might actually be dulling your natural sensitivity over time? That is the next truth that most women have never been told. So how do you move forward from here? Let's begin with a few gentle adjustments you can implement right away. The first is simply to slow down. Your body now operates more like a teapot that needs time to steep rather than a microwave that heats instantly. This is not a flaw, it is merely biology. Blood flow requires more time to build, so granting yourself an abundance of time and patience makes the entire experience richer and more profound. Another immediate adjustment is utilizing the right kind of lubricant. Vaginal dryness is a common experience after menopause, and a simple, high-quality, water-based, fragrance-free lubricant can completely transform the experience from one of discomfort to one of pleasure. I remember one patient, Maria, who was convinced that pain during intimacy was a sign that she was simply too old. In reality, all she needed was proper lubrication and a gentler, more patient pacing. Within a matter of weeks, her confidence was fully restored. Moving into more medium-term solutions, one powerful step is to consciously vary your methods of stimulation. If you have relied exclusively on a high-powered vibrator for many years, consider taking an intentional break. It is somewhat analogous to listening to music constantly at maximum volume. After a while, it becomes difficult to appreciate the whispers and subtle nuances. By offering your body gentler, more varied sensations, you allow your nerves the opportunity to reawaken and recalibrate. Another crucial step is to engage your mind. Neuroscience confirms that your brain is your largest and most powerful sexual organ. Practices such as visualization, focusing on your breath, or even performing gentle stretches before you begin to touch yourself can profoundly deepen the experience. And please do not forget about your pelvic floor. Simple Kegel exercises, practiced for just a few minutes each day, can increase blood flow and heighten sensitivity in ways that truly matter over the long term. For the long term, I strongly encourage women to reframe self-connection as an integral part of their overall wellness routine, not as something to be kept secret or to be ashamed of, but as a ritual as natural and beneficial as meditation or stretching. Even a practice of intentional self-pleasure once or twice a week helps to keep your tissues healthy, boosts calming hormones like oxytocin, and serves as a powerful reminder that I am still alive and wholly deserving of pleasure. And of course, lifestyle plays a significant role as well. Staying physically active ensures that your circulation remains robust, and nourishing your body with leafy greens, omega-3 fatty acids, and proper hydration provides essential support for your tissues. In fact, one of the most frequently overlooked factors is something as elementary as water. Even mild dehydration can reduce natural lubrication and make intimacy less comfortable. Simply drinking a glass of water or a cup of herbal tea before you begin can make a noticeable and positive difference. If you have found these tips helpful so far, I would be honored for you to join our community. Please go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with another woman who might need this encouragement. Together, we can shatter the silence surrounding women's health after 60. Now, all of these solutions are powerful in their own right, but they become truly inspiring when you see how real women have transformed their lives by implementing them. In the next part, I will share stories of women who genuinely thought that intimacy was over for good until they discovered a new way of connecting with themselves. I want to share with you a story that has always stayed with me. A woman named Barbara, 68 years old, came to see me following her divorce. She looked at me and said, "I still touch myself, but it feels as though nothing reaches me anymore. I feel completely disconnected." Initially, she assumed it was simply an unavoidable consequence of age, but as we talked, the truth began to emerge. Her nightly routine with a high-powered vibrator had inadvertently trained her body to respond exclusively to one intense kind of stimulus. It was, as I explained to her, like listening to music at full volume every single day. After a while, the gentle notes and the soft whispers of life become lost. Barbara felt trapped, as though she had lost the very ability to connect with herself, let alone with others. But she did not give up. Together, we worked on a plan for slowly resensitizing her body, setting aside the devices, reconnecting with the rhythm of her own breath, exploring softer and more varied forms of touch, and learning to listen to her body's unique rhythms once again. This did not happen overnight, but within a few weeks, she began to notice gentle sensations returning. A soft caress that had once felt empty began to feel alive with possibility again. The smile that returned to her face told me everything. "I didn't think I could ever feel this way again," she shared. "This is why I often tell women, your body is like a garden. If you water it in the exact same way every single day, always pouring the water quickly into one single corner, the other parts of the soil will inevitably dry out, the roots will weaken, and the flowers will cease to bloom. But if you learn to water the garden gently, evenly, and with mindful care, the entire garden thrives. Your sexuality, your intimacy, your very sense of self, these are not lost simply because you have reached 60, 70, or even 80. They are merely waiting for a new kind of nourishment." I have witnessed women who were convinced their intimate lives were finished discover that, with a little patience, intention, and profound self-compassion, their bodies responded in beautiful and surprising ways. One of my patients once said to me, "Doc Stones, I thought that chapter of my life was closed forever, but now, I feel as if I have just started an entirely new book," and that is exactly what this stage of life can be, not an ending but a new and exciting beginning. So, if you have been feeling that inner spark begin to fade, or if you have bought into the cultural myths that desire should quietly disappear with age, let Barbara's story serve as a powerful reminder that it is never too late to rediscover connection. And we are not finished yet, because in the final part of this video, I want to give you a simple recap of what we have learned, and most importantly, leave you with a message of hope and profound encouragement. We have covered a great deal of important ground together, so let's pause and gently recap the most essential truths. First, we learned that arousal after 60 is not broken, it is simply different. What used to happen with speed and ease may now require more time and more intention, and that is a perfectly natural evolution. Second, we uncovered that intimacy is not merely a physical act, it is profoundly emotional and neurological. The way you connect with yourself can ease anxiety, improve the quality of your sleep, and nurture your deep-seated sense of belonging. Third, we faced the reality of the use it or lose it principle. Just as muscles weaken without regular exercise, your intimate tissues require consistent, mindful attention to remain healthy, elastic, and responsive. Fourth, we explored how an over-reliance on strong mechanical stimulation can, over time, dull your senses, but that with patience and a gentle approach, you can reawaken the softer touches and rediscover the exquisite beauty of subtlety. And finally, we embraced the truth that self-pleasure at your age is not a liability. It can be a lifeline, a way to honor your body, maintain your health, and keep alive the spark of being fully wonderfully human. When I think of all the women I have had the privilege to see, Margaret, Brenda, Frances, Barbara, and so many more, I am reminded of one precious, overarching lesson. Desire does not retire. It may soften, it may shift its form, but it never has to disappear entirely. If there is one singular message I hope you take away from our conversation today, it is this: you are still whole, you are still worthy, and you are still profoundly capable of intimacy, pleasure, and deep connection. Your body has not betrayed you. It is simply inviting you to listen to it differently, to approach it with patience, and to rediscover yourself with boundless compassion. So here is my invitation to you. Remain curious about your body, choose to honor its changes instead of fighting against them. And most importantly of all, never allow shame or silence to make your choices for you, because your health and your happiness, even in your later years, are the direct result of the gentle, intentional choices you make today. If this message has resonated with you, I would be so grateful if you would share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these truths spoke to you most deeply? Your story could be the very one that gives another woman the courage she needs. And if you wish to continue learning and reclaiming your health with dignity, please subscribe, click the notification bell, and share this video with a sister, a friend, or anyone who deserves to hear it. Together, we can break the pervasive silence and remind every woman that age does not take away her fundamental right to feel alive. Because you deserve the truth, you deserve unwavering support, and you deserve to feel whole today, tomorrow, and always. And before we close, please allow me to remind you that this video is intended for educational purposes only. It does not and cannot replace professional medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal health concerns, it is imperative that you consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized and expert care.